Hello, everyone. Okay, my name is Rume, and today I'll be showing us how we can actually use a tool in Excel to actually clean, or should I say clean, no, to um, help us get some analysis and insights from a particular set of data. In most cases, using Excel, in most cases, you might want to use Excel formulas and functions and all that stuff. But with pivot tables, depending on what you want to do, you can actually get most of those insights from your data without actually writing a single Excel formula. So this is what we're going to do in this video. And our case study is for a superstore who has, like, in this case, they've hired me or you or whoever as a data analyst, and they want us to understand their sales data. So our task is basically simple: to help them analyze their sales records and answer some of the questions. So these are the questions that they have given us, and it's like around 21 questions. So and then we'll be using the data sets here so this is what the data set looks like for the supermarket. And it has, so looking at data generally, it has the order ID, and this is like the different orders for the particular sales period, and this is the date of the particular transaction. And then the system also records the first name and the last name of the customer, followed by the products. Like in this case, this particular customer, Amina Bello, bought rice, or she bought 2 quantities of rice, and 1 unit of rice, which is 1 kg of rice, is 1,200 naira here. And then she bought 2 units of rice, so that means that in total she actually got 2,400 naira worth of products. So, and then the system also records the payment method of the customer. So in this case, she uses card, and then the region, that is a branch of the supermarket, is Lagos. So, and then that's how it is. So the very first thing we want to do is to convert this to a table, because this is a range. When working in Excel as a data analyst or doing any data analytics work, it's better to actually convert it to a table. Most likely because one of the major reasons is because of automation. So one of the things I want to do quickly is to convert this to a table. I will just click anywhere within the range. So for example, I can click this tomato, but to be on the safer side, I will just highlight everything here. So this is highlighted. And then the next thing I'll do is I'll just click on the shortcut Ctrl T. So I just hold down the Control key on my keyboard and then click on T. So the moment I click on letter T, it brings up this header which says, where's the table? Where's the data for your table? This is it. And then for this case, I want to check this box for my table has headers, because this table has headers. We'll have the order ID data. Now, if it doesn't have headers, I would uncheck this box, but because it has headers, I'll just leave this checked, and then I click on OK. The moment I do that, it changes this particular range to a table. So like I said initially, one of the reasons why we work with tables as data analysts is primarily because of automation. A table is more automated than a range, and it's more connected. Everything is interconnected. Okay, so this particular table is good, ready. So now, like I said, we won't be doing a lot of cleaning and transformation here, because the purpose of this whole video is for us to just show us how we can actually use pivot tables to get insights from our data without actually writing Excel formulas like the sum function, the X lookup function, all those counts, found blocks, and so on. We might just do just a little of them, but mostly we're going to use pivot tables to actually get that. So I can just come here, just rename my sheet. This is sheet 1, so I'll just name it as let me call it sales data set. So we have sales data set here. So now I want to the first thing I want to do is to create a pivot table for this from this range. So same way, I can click on anywhere within the table. This is now a table, it's no longer a range, so I can click anywhere within the table. I go to my menu bar. So once I click on insert, I want to look for pivot table. So this is where I have pivot tables here. I'll click on this drop down. For some of us, it might just be, there might be no drop down, but the pivot table will be there, so it's still okay. So I'll just click on from table range. So once I click on from table range, this appears. So it says select the table range. So this is table 1, and then new worksheet. So this case, so the difference between these two is for new worksheet, if I what this means is I want to create a new worksheet and put that pivot table there. And then existing worksheet, if I select it, I would choose, for example, we just have this single sheet. So the pivot table will be created within this particular sheet. But in this case, I want to create the pivot table in another sheet. So what I can do, I will check this. This is checked already. And then I also check this box for add this to data model. And once I'm done with that, I'll just click on my OK. So the moment I click on my OK, a pivot table is created here, and then from here we can now start answering these questions that they asked us. So the very first question that they asked us from the objective is how much money did the store make in total this month. So now in terms of the total sales they made, they're kind of like asking us about the revenue that the business made within a particular period. Now looking at the information, we don't have any direct information about the revenue. However, we can actually get information about the revenue from the quantity and the price. So for example, Amina below, if we want to get how much she paid, we know that she got 2 kg of rice and 1 kg is 1/2. So that means if she got 2 units of rice or 2 quantity of rice, that means she paid approximately 2/4. That is 2 times 1/2, or the quantity times price. So for us to get the total for the whole business, what we can do, we can create a column for revenue. That is, the column will contain the revenue for each of the customers. So what I can do is so let me just create it here for just simplicity's sake. I will click here on this empty cell here, and the moment I write revenue, what happens is this particular revenue column is being automatically linked to the table. So this is my revenue table. I can just stretch this out to have this here, but this is my revenue column. So what I can do is the next down to, so the idea is I want to multiply this column and this column together. So to do that, the very first thing I do in this first cell, I'll just click on equals to, and then I'll also click on this cell, which is the first quantity for this particular customer. This is F2. So I click on it. So the moment I click on it, I just click on Shift 8. I hold down the Shift key on my keyboard, and then I press the number 8. So what that does, it brings out this asterisk sign. So this asterisk sign is the multiplication symbol in Excel. So what I'm saying is this, which is this quantity, times, which is this asterisk, the unit price. So once I'll just click on it like this, and then I have quantity times price. The moment I'm done with that, I'll just press enter on my keyboard. So now what Excel does is, because this is a table, it automatically does the revenue for the other customers as well. So one very quick thing I can do, I will just highlight all of this and just change the format to currency. So once I right click on this and I go to format cells, I will just click on currency. So I don't want any decimal place, so I can reduce this to 0. Then under the symbols, I want to use Naira, because this business is in Nigeria and the currency from our clients is in Naira. So I can choose any of the Naira, but in most cases I prefer using the Yoruba Naira. So once I click on the Yoruba Naira and I click on OK, what happens is, as you can see, all the revenue has been changed to Naira. So that's that. So now we've gotten the revenue for each individual. So what we want to do is to get the total revenue. So we're going to sum this up. Now, in general, if we're to use Excel formula, we'll just use the sum function, which is this, and then we'll just drag this down here up onto this point, close the bracket, and we'll say enter. This will give you the sum. However, like I said, the purpose of this video, we're not using any Excel formula, so because we're going to use pivot tables to just show what we need to do. So that's the idea behind it. So I could just come back to my pivot sheet here. I could just name this, let's say answers, because this is where we'll have all the answers to all the questions that we have. So my pivot table is created already. So the next thing I want to do is, since I already have a column, a revenue column, if you check here, the revenue column is not indicated here. So what I can do, because I just created it, it has not updated up onto the pivot table. So what I can do to bring it here is very easy. I just go to my menu bar, I click on refresh here. So the moment I click on refresh and I check, you can see my revenue is there. So now I can now get the sum of all the total revenue. So all I need to do, I'll just drag revenue to values. The moment I drag revenue to values, it gives me the sum of the revenue. That's the total amount they made for that particular period. So they said, how much money did the store make in total this month? So this is the total revenue. So I could just name this, double click on it, and just say total revenue, and I say okay. Then I can also format this as well. All I need to do, I'll just right click on the 339,900 and I say number format, and I go to currency. So I don't want any decimal points. I just click on this symbol and I change it to Yoruba Naira, and I say okay. So if you notice, I've answered that. So I could just call this number 1. So this is number 1. I've answered number 1 for the question. So the next question they are asking us is how many orders were placed during this period. That is, how many they will need us to know the number of orders that they made. So by default, we already have an idea of the number of orders here in Excel. That is number 1 to 20. So now if I was to use normal Excel formulas, I'll use the count function in this case. So once I click on it, and I'll just select all of this. So the count function helps you count all numerical values, and I close it. So we have 20 here. So like I said, we don't need to do that because we use pivot tables to do that. So all I need to do, I can decide to create on that pivot table from that table, but instead of doing that, I can just quickly make a copy of this and just copy this. I can put it here and I paste it. So all I need to do is just I'll just uncheck revenue. So I'm working with the count of orders. I want to know how many orders we made. So I can just drag orders down here. So when I drag orders down here, I have 210. So now what this is saying is the reason why we're having 210, because initially when we checked here, we noticed that it's just 20 orders. However, the reason why we're having 210 here is because what the system is doing by default is it's adding 1 plus 2 plus 3. So this is 1 plus 2, it gives you 3. 3 plus 3 gives you 6, and then 6 plus 4 gives you 10. So what we want, we just want to count it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So all we need to do is just use the count feature in pivot tables. So now to use the count feature in pivot tables, I'll just select the pivot table, I right click on it, and then I summarize the values. I go to summarize values by, and I choose count. So once I click on count, you can see it gives us our total orders. So I could just come here and just rename this to total orders, and we have the total orders here. So we have that. So I could just say this is number 2. Okay, so let's go to the next question. Next question says how many different products were sold. So in terms of the types of products, the number of products that the system, the business sold, we need to know. So the column that gives us information about the products that the system or the business sells is this particular product, this particular column here. Now in Excel, if I was to actually do this, I would use the count A function, which is this one here. So if I do the count A function and I just double drag this here and close the bracket, it gives me 20 products. So like I said, we don't need this. We'll have pivot tables to help us do that. So I could just come here, make a copy of this. I say bring it this way, paste it here. I'm working with products, so I don't need the order ID. So I'll just drag products here. So and it gives me the count of the product. So the count of product is what, 20. So I could just rename this to number of products sold, and I say okay, and I call this is my number 3. So I've answered number 3 successfully. The next question is list all the states where sales were made this month. So they need us to know how many states in all their branches was sales made. So in this case, if I was to use Excel function, I'll use the unique function in my Excel to actually list out all the states. So once I click on the unique function and I drag this down here and I close my bracket, it gives me the list of all the states. However, I don't need to do that. If I don't know that formula, it's fine. In, like, for example, in some Excel, maybe Excel 2019 and below, you might not have this function there. So a substitute that I can use is pivot tables to get that. So I'll just select I select all of these and I say Ctrl C, just make a copy of it, duplicate it, and I can paste it here. So at this point, I don't need the products. I just need the region. So in this case, if you check the data, the column that has the information about the different states is the region column. So going to my pivot tables, I can drag region. This time I'm not dragging region to values. Instead, I'm dragging it to rows so that I can see the number of states that were sold. So if you notice, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 states here. So these are the number of states that we made sales. So what I could do, I could just rename this number of states, number of states. So that starts with so we've answered number 4. So that's that for number 4, which is the list of states. So now they are asking us how many states had sales, for example. So how many states had sales? So to do that, we could just make a copy of this. I'll just make a copy of this, and I could just bring it here. Let's say this is it here. So what I just simply need to do, I'll just drag this region from here under my field list and just drag it to values. So if I drag it to values, giving me the count of region. So now, just like for these total orders, what it's doing here, it's counting everything regardless of the repetition. So it's counting everything from Lagos to Enugu down to, and we have 20 entries. So but what we want, we just need to count. For example, if you're counting Lagos, you've counted Lagos already. So when you're counting Lagos down, we don't need to count Lagos again. So what we want is Lagos 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's not going to count this Lagos, but currently it's counting it, so we don't want it to count it. So we need it to just go 1, 2, 3, 4, jump this 5, and then jump this, and we have 6. So that's what we are trying to do. So to do that, we just change this to distinct counts. So to change it to distinct counts, we just I click on this and say summarize values by, and I go to distinct counts. This is the so this is distinct count. So my mistake here, so this is supposed to be list of states. I'll just rename this to list of states, and this is the count number of states. This is the number of states. So I have the number of states, which is 6. So this is number 5. So if I was to use the normal Excel formulas and functions, I could just easily do this. This is I want to do the counts A of the unique values. This is the unique here. Double click on it and then select all of this, and then I close the brackets and I have 6. So no need of the Naira sign. So I could just format this cell to numbers, and I say okay. So this is using Excel formula as well, but like I said, why do that when you can actually use pivot tables to just get the simple values here, right? So that's for number 5. So the next thing is how many customers did not provide their last name. So going back to the sales data, if you check the column for the last name, we have Ibrahim, we have Kelechi, and we have Tolu. These 3 persons, they didn't produce their last name. So in Excel, if I was to use an Excel function, I'll use the count blank function to actually count. So the count blank function helps you count different the blank spaces in a group of arrays. So once I did that, it gives me 3. So but I don't need to know that formula to do that. I could just come here and I could make a copy of this, and I could just bring it here. And so now I'm working with the last name column, so I don't need the region. I won't check the region. I go to the last name. So once I click on the last name, if you notice, we have all the names, and then we have some that says blank. So all I need to do, I'll just uncheck all of this and just click on blank. And once I say okay, it gives me blank. And then the next thing, I'll just drag other ID here. And then when I drag other ID here, I will just change this to summarize values by distinct counts, and then it gives me 3. So these are the list of the number of blank people that didn't submit their surnames. So I could just rename this to customers, then also rename this to no surnames. So we have 3. So because of what I might do in the future, I might just bring this out. So I'll just say this is equals to, so this is D15. So I could just say D15. So this is D15 here, and you just say enter. So it brings out the blank, and I could just drag it here, and it gives me this. So, or I could easily just say copy this, Control C, then I come here, Control, I hold down my Control, hold down my alternate key, and then I also hold down my select V. So once I do that, I have this paste up here. I just want to check this one for value. So the idea is I want to disconnect it with this pivot table because there are some changes I'm going to make in future that will affect this particular pivot table, but I still want to have those blank surnames here. So I'll just check this box for values and I say okay. So that has been sorted here. Okay, so this is for number 6 and we have that there. So we have number 6 answered. So and then for number 7, the next one is how many total units of products were sold. So the business, they want to know in terms of the quantity of products. They need us to know how many in terms of the quantity. So here I could just, using Excel formulas or functions, I could just use the sum function for this. I can just click on this and just highlight this and close the bracket and close this, and it gives me 51. But if I don't know this formula, I could use pivot tables to do that as well. I can make a copy of any of the pivot tables. Anyone can work, it's okay. But I could just bring it here and I just paste it here, and then I just want to uncheck this. So what I'm working with now is quantity, so I need to know the total quantity. So if I drag it here, I have the total quantity, which is 51. So I could just rename this to total quantity sold. So this is the total quantity of products that was sold. So I could just rename this to, this is number 7. Number 7 is already answered for us. So the next question we have on our list is, on average, how many units were sold per order? So they need us to know in terms of the average number of quantities that was sold within this particular column. So this is the column that has the information about the quantities. So you want to know on an average, how many products did a customer buy per time? So to do that in Excel, I could easily use the average function to do this. So if I click on equals to the average and I double click on this and I select all of this and I say enter, it gives me the average. So on an average, every customer that comes in buy at least, these are approximately three units of products on average. So every customer, so with this we can easily comment to the business that for every customer that walks into your business, they are most likely to buy at least 3 products per order. So that's that for that. So I did this with the Excel formula, but coming to my pivot table, I could also get it using pivot table. So I'll just make a copy of this and I bring it here and I paste it here and I say this is number 8, and so this is total quantity. So all I need to do, I'll just right click on this 51. So once I right click on it, I want to look for summarize values by, and I go to average. When I click on average, you can see it gives me the same value that it gave me there. So I could just name this average quantity per order, and I say okay. So this is the same thing with that. So that's number 8 already answered. The next question they are asking us is, what is the highest price for a single unit of any product? So they need us to know in terms of all the products, these are the price. This right here is the price of all the products that we have here. So we need to know on an average how much is each price. So before we go, let's just quickly format this column to currency. I will just say format cells. I right click on it, go to format cells, click on currency. I remove the decimal points. I go to my symbols and I want to use Yoruba Naira and I say okay. So on an average for the business, what is their average price for a product, or rather what is the highest price? So in this case, they're asking us for the highest price. So what I can do, I can just make a copy of this pivot table here. So but before let me show us how to do it in Excel using an Excel formula. In this case, I'm looking, since they're asking us for the highest unit price, I could use the minimum function in Excel. The minimum function, to do that, I'll just say equals to min. Then once I press min, I have this. I just double click on it and I go to the unit price. So once I check it and I select everything here like this and I close my brackets, I have, so on an average okay, so this is minimum. Okay, no, I made a mistake. This is supposed to be so we're talking about highest, so that means max. So I'm using the maximum function. So this is max here, and I double click on it and I go to the unit price. So once I select all of it and I close the brackets, I have this. So the highest products that this business sells is price, the cost for one of it is 3,000. So using pivot tables, I could also get that as well. So I could just make a copy of this particular pivot table, come here, click on this, and Ctrl V. So what I need now, I'm working with unit price. So I just uncheck quantity, and I check unit price. So what I need is the highest unit price. So I'll just right click on this and I say summarize values by. So this point, remember in Excel we use the max, so you can see it says largest value. So once I click on it, it gives me the same amount, 3,000. So I could just format it, number format, and I say currency. Don't want any decimal points. I go to my symbols and I scroll down to Yoruba Naira and I say okay. So this is the highest unit price. So for the business, they sell, the highest product they sell is around 3,000. So I could just rename this to highest unit price, and we have that over there. So that's our number 9 answer. So they also need us to know the lowest unit price for the business. So for the lowest unit price, using here, so I use the max function here. For lowest unit price, I could use the minimum function. So I will just say equals to min, which is the minimum function. Here's double click on it, and then same unit price column, I just highlight it down here, and then I close the brackets and I press enter on my keyboard. So I have 250 naira. So on an average, this business, they sell around 250 naira and 3,000 naira. So I could also get this using my pivot tables. So I could just make a copy of this since I already have the unit price here. I'll just make a copy of this, Ctrl C, come here and just say Ctrl V, and I could just say I'll just right click on this and say summarize values by min. So once I click on it, it gives me 250 naira, which is the lowest unit price. So I could just rename this to lowest unit price, and I say okay. So in this business, so for example, maybe I'm a supplier and I want to supply this business, being that I know that this business they sell within 250 naira at 3,000 naira. I don't think it would be wise for me to bring a product that sells around 20,000 naira to this business, because based on the data that they have, the customers they usually buy within 3,000 and 250 naira. So that's, we can also get the average from this. Let me just quickly do this as a bonus question. So we just make a copy of this. I just paste it here, and I just right click on this, go to summarize values by, and I select average. And on average, you can see they have the average is 933 naira. So I could just call this average units price, and I say okay. So that's that for the average unit price. So this is the highest and lowest. That's number 9 and number 10 answered already. So this is number 9, and then this is number 10 answered already, and this is let's just call it bonus question because it's not there, so we could just call it bonus, right? So this is what we have. So we've answered number 10. So now I'm moving on to a little bit of advanced, something that's a little bit advanced here. So number 11 says we should create a new column that combines the first name and the last name column. So looking at our data, if you notice the names of the customers, we have their first name and their last name in different columns. So but what this business wants us to do is to help them to combine them. So we don't want them to have two different columns. We want them to have the same column. So to do this, I could just create another column here. I will just click on this and I say, we'll call it full name. So in creating this, so what I want to do, so there are different ways to do this. There's the ampersand function, there is the concat function, there are so many functions that you could use to actually do this particular thing. But I'm going to use a simple one, which is the ampersand function. So the ampersand function, by using this, you see this sign that we use to denote, and so I'm going to use it to do this. So what I need to do is just simple. So I'll just click on this and I'll say equals to. So first of all, I want to click on the first name. This is Amina. So I want to combine Amina Bello together. I want them to be in the same column. So I'll click on Amina first. Once I click on Amina, it shows this first name, meaning that I've selected Amina. And the next thing I want to do here, I might just give a space, and then I will just press on my keyboard. That is, I hold down my shift key, and then I select number 7. So once I select number 7, it gives me this and column, this and symbol here. So after doing that, I click on space, I give a space. They will notice the space, I give a space here, and then I open a quotation, and then also give another space and open the quotation, give another space, and then say shift 7. So let me just quickly explain this. So like I said, this ampersand, I use it to combine two columns together. So now this little guy here that I see that this column, it's if maybe I want them to be a space. If I don't put these two things here, if I don't put this column, give a space, and put this column here, it's going to combine them together. So let me just show us what that simply means. So for example, if I say this and this, and I say enter, if you notice, there's no space in between both of them, right? So we have Amina below, but we need a space between both of them. So what I can do is I could just click on equals to here, and I just say Amina, I say and put my space, column, and then I select below. So what I did is I selected Amina first, and I put my ampersand, which is this icon here. Then I opened a double quotation, left a space, opened on that double quotation, and then put my ampersand, and I say enter. So as you can see now, each of the names, they have spaces in between them. So we've been able to answer number 11. Okay, so now number 12 says remove the first name and the last name columns, keeping only the full name column. So what we need to do, so since we already have the information about the full names here, the customers combined here, we don't need these two columns. So what we can simply do is to delete these two columns. However, if we delete them just like this column is going to give an error. So we need to, and the reason why we'll get that error is because this column is connected to this column. So what I mean is if I decide to select these two columns together, I decide to select them like this, and I select them like this, and I right click and I say delete, and I go to table columns. If you notice, the full name column, we have a reference error. So to avoid this reference error, so let me bring it back. So I just press Ctrl Z on my keyboard to bring it back. So I need to do it in such a way that this column is not connected to this. So all I need to do, I need to make a copy of this column without connecting it to this column. So to do that, first of all, I'll just create a new column here. I'll just say call this full name, this is full name 2, full name number 2, and I'll just select everything here from Amina below. I'll just select it down to Chukwemeka Obi, and I just say Ctrl C to just make a copy. So I come to this, the next now, so I come to this first cell here, and now I want to paste it, but I'm pasting it such that it's not connected to the other column. So to do that, I hold down my Control key, I hold down my alternate key, and then I select V. The moment I select V on my keyboard, it brings up this symbol. So I want to click on value. So what this value does is that it recreates that copy without connecting it to the other column. So I can now successfully delete those columns without affecting it. So there's no reference error. So once I click on this and I say OK, and I double click on this, so now I can comfortably select all of this here. I click on it, I go to delete, and I say table columns, I delete it. So this one, the reference error is not an issue since we already have it here. So I'll just right click on this one as well, click on delete table columns, and I have the full names here. So I don't need to put this number 2 here. I could just name it as full name. The other thing I can do, I can just highlight all of this, and once I highlight all of this from the full name down to Chukwemeka Obi, and just move it down to here. So that's so I'll just drag it and move it down here. So we have the full name column here. So we've been able to answer number 12, which is to remove the first name column and keep only the full name column. So that's done. Okay, so the next column says add a new column that shows whether the payment method used was card or not. So they want us to see, so for this business, they want to see in terms of all the transactions that happened within this particular period, they're trying to see which of the customers paid with card. So to do that, we need to create a column that indicates that this customer paid with card or not. So what we'll do first of all, let's create the column first of all. So this is the column here. We have card, we could just name it card, and we'll say enter. So the moment we do that, create this column, empty column. So what we want to do, we want to use the if function here. So in doing this, I could just say equals to if, that is if. So the moment I press if function, I just click on this, I double click on it, and then I say if. So what we're trying to say is, so if the parent method is card, let it be card. If it's not parent, if it's not card, let it be something else. So maybe what we can say that if it's card, we say yes, and if it's not card, we say no. So what we can simply do, once we've written this, I'll say if. So we'll go to the card. So if so what we're saying is if payment method is equals to. So I just put an equals to sign there, and then I write card. So before you write the card, make sure you open a double quotation because there is a text value. So, and then put a comma. So we're saying if the payment method is equals to card, right? And then I give a space after the comma, say let it be card. So what I'm saying is if the payment method is card, just leave it like that as card, or if the payment method is card, just leave it as yes. And then I close my put the comma, and then the payment method is card, I say yes. If it's not card, I could just open another column and say no. So what this is simply saying is if the payment method is equals to card, right, indicated by yes. If it's not card, indicated by no. So that's what the if function is all about. So it's a very simple function. And then I close my bracket and I say enter. So let's compare and contrast this now. So I could just highlight all of this and then drag it towards my card payments to compare. So let's see if I click on this filter here, select just yes, which is all our card payments. If you notice, we have then card. And if I select this and I uncheck all of this and I say no, and I say okay, if you notice, these are the other payment methods which are not card. No. So we have cash and mobile money. So I could just come back to this filter and just say clear filter from card to give me my original column. So we have the card payment. So just for structure and arrangement, we just select the revenue column and also move it to the unit price section as well. So we have the quantity, unit price, and then the revenue, which is quite presentable. So with that, we've been able to answer number 13. The next question they need us to say add a new column to categorize the quantity sold. So they say if the quantity is less than average, label it as below average, and then if the quantity is equal to or more than average, label it above average. So what they want us to do is for the quantities here, they need us to actually check first of all to see what's the average of the quantity here, and then also if the quantity that the customer bought, if the quantity is above the average, so name it above average, and if it's below the average, name it below average. So for this, we're going to create a column to actually indicate that. So I could just come here and say quantity category. So if you notice for these ones, we didn't use pivot tables. So these are like some of the exceptions to pivot tables. However, you can actually use DAX to actually write this, but because of what we're learning today, would not do that in this video. Probably in that video, we'll use DAX to actually write all of this by creating calculated measures for that. So this is the quantity category. So now what you're saying is, so I'll just click on this first cell and say equals to, and say if function, if the quantity, right, if this quantity number 2 is less than, so this is the less than symbol on my keyboard, is a shift comma, so this is the less than symbol. If it's less than the average, so what we're saying, if it's less than average, this is the average. So I just select average, the average. So the average of what exactly? The average of all this quantities here. So I'll just select all of this. So once I select all of this, it gives me this, and then the next thing I want to do here is to just add a comma. So that's shift, close the bracket, and a comma. So if it's less than the average, and then I put a comma here, so name it. So I give a space. So you can notice I left a space after the comma, and then I say shift, open a quotation to name it. So what do I want to name? I want to name it below average. So name it below average, comma, and then give a space, open another bracket, comma, and then call it above average, then close the bracket. So the idea is the if function is saying that if the quantity that the customer bought, if it's less than the average of the total quantities for all the customers, you should name it below average. Then if it's above the average, you should name it what's above average, and then you close the bracket. So that's what this particular formula, this function is all about. So I just press enter on my keyboard, and then it creates that column 4. So if I filter it down, and let's say, so first of all, before I filter, let me just move all of this. I'll just drag it down, select everything, and just drag it to my quantities. So once I select it and I double click on this, and I have this, so I'll just click on this drop down here. So I just want to uncheck by selecting all, and I click on above. So let's see all the quantities that is above average. So I'll just check this box for filter it to just above average, and I click OK. So if you check, this is above the average. The average, remember, the average is 2.5. So this is above 2.5, above 2.5. Everything here is above 2.5. So I could also come back to this filter or check the box for the above average, click on below average, and I say OK. So if you check, all these ones are below 2.5, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, and so on and so forth. So our formula is correct. So once I click on this drop down, I could just bring everything back by selecting clear filter from quantity category. So once I click on it, it brings back all my values. So answered question number 14. So the next thing they want us to do, they say if an order total is more than 2,000, apply a 10% discount. Calculate the new total after discount. So what they are basically saying is that if there's any customer within that particular sales period that bought a product that is above 2,000 naira, that we should always give that customer a 10% discount. So that's what they need us to do. That's one. And then second, they also need us to calculate the new discount, that the new amount that that person will pay once we remove the discount from the amount. So what I simply mean is, for example, let's say we have Amina Bello. She paid 2,400 naira. And the business already said that if any customer pays above 2,000 naira, we should give that person a 10% discount on what they are paying. So 10% of this 2,400 is around 240 naira. So what they are simply saying that for this, I will not pay 240 naira, 2,400 naira. What she would pay is 2,400 minus 2,240 naira. So she's going to pay so basically she's going to pay 10% minus 10% off this. So 10% off this is, I think, 2,160 thereabouts. So first of all, let's know the discount. Let's see how many of these customers have discounts in them. So to do that, let's just create a new column. So we can just put the column discounts given, and here we can just say equals to. So we'll also use the if function here. So the if function says, so we're saying if, just select this, click on it, double click on it, and say if. We're saying that if the revenue, this revenue is less than, so this is the less than function, so is less than 2,000, or no, if it's greater, so in this case I'm using greater than. So if it's greater than 2,000, right, put a comma, give a space. So we'll say give it a 10% discount. So 10% is 0.1. So we'll just say 0.1 multiplied 10% off the actual revenue, that is 0.1 asterisk sign, and then multiply. So just click on this revenue here. So once you click on it, it was saying, so if the revenue is greater than 2,000, give a 10% discount of 0.1 times the revenue. That's 0.1, that's 10% off the revenue. Otherwise, so we'll just put a comma here. If it's not more than 2,000, give a space and we'll just say 0. That means this 0 simply means that. So what this formula is simply saying is, if the revenue is greater than 2,000, give it 10% of the revenue. That is 0.1. That's 10%, 0.1 times this asterisk, the revenue. Or if it's not greater than 2,000, just give it no discount, which is 0 discount, and then we'll press enter. So here we check. So we just check. Let me just select all of this, and then we can just move it towards the revenue section here to see the discount given. So if you noticed, because this particular one is above 2,000, this is the discount 240. So now this other person, this other customer is 800 naira in revenue, but so because it's not 2,000, there's no discount given. So we've answered the first part of the question, which says if an order is total is more than 2,000, apply a 10% discount. So the next thing we want to do is to calculate the new discount, the new amount, so the new revenue, or the total amount that the person is paying once you've removed the discount from it. So we can just do that here. We can just create a new column. We have a new amount. So once I create a new amount, so let me just stretch this a bit. So so the new amount will be the old amount, which is this revenue minus this discount here. So I'll just say equals to, and I just click on this, and I say, so once I click on it, it gives this blue sign around, and I have my revenue here, and then I just say minus on my keyboard. So this is a minus sign on my keyboard, minus the discounts, given, and this is what I have. So the idea is the revenue, the old revenue, which is this, minus the discounts, which is this, and I say enter. So once I do that, it gives us all the new values. So if I check, if I drag this, let me just select all of this and also drag it towards the so let's drag it there towards the revenue part so we could see. So if you check, for example, this was what Amina was supposed to pay, but because she got above 2,000 naira, this is what she's now paying. So this is more like an advertisement. So from this, we can create an advertisement strategy for the business and say, okay, we should encourage customers to buy more so that they can have discounts, which actually encourage the customers to actually want to pay more based on this discount. So this is what they have here. So and then so we've answered the second part. So we've calculated the new. So the second part of the question is, so now we need to know the new revenue, the total. So we'll just sum this up. Like I said, we could easily use the sum function here in Excel, which is sum. Open this and say drag all of this together and then close the bracket. We have the sum, but there's no need to do this. We can just use our pivot table. Coming back to our pivot table, now if you check here, the new discount column has not been added. So what we need to do, we just have to refresh. So once you click on our menu bar, go to data and then click on refresh. So the moment you click on refresh, those new columns will be added for us. So if you scroll down carefully, you can see we have the new amounts and the discount given column added. So all I need to do, I'll just make a copy of this pivot table. I make a copy of it. I could let me put it here. I just paste it here, and then I uncheck the average. I uncheck the unit price. So I want to see the new amounts that each person is paying. So all I need to do, I'll just drag amounts to values. So the moment I do that, you can see the sum of new amounts. It gives us the total amount that each customer paid. So I'll just double click on this and say new total amounts, new total, or new revenue, or revenue after. So I could just call this revenue after discounts, right? So this is revenue, total revenue after discount. So this is the actual money that the customer will pay after they've applied discounts to their process. So I could just edit this. Just right click on this number format. I go to my currency, reduce it to 0, and then the symbol, I can just change it to the Nigerian naira, which is Yoruba here, and I just say okay. So I have, so the total revenue after discounts. So this is the actual revenue that the business made in total. So that is that. So that's for number 15. So we've answered number 15. So they say, what is the total amount of discount given on all sales? So they want us to calculate. So after we removed all the discounts, what was the total discount? So if you go to, what they are simply asking us is, in terms of the discounts that was given, in terms of we need to calculate how much discount did they give. So in this case, I could just use the sum function in Excel. Double click on this, and then I just right click on, just select everything here, close the bracket, and I have 220 naira here. So I don't need to use the Excel function. I'll just come to my pivot table. I'll just make a copy of this one, Ctrl C, and then I could let's say, let me paste it here under here. And so the next thing I want to do, I'll just uncheck this new amounts, and then this is the discount given. So I want to know how much total did we give as discount. So I'll just drag discounts to values. The moment I drag discounts to values, you can see it gives us the same value that we had. Once I right click on this and I say summarize values by, okay, so I'm not summarizing, I'm just formatting the cells to naira. So currency, I'll just reduce it to 0, and I'll just change it to Yoruba naira. I say okay. The next thing I want to do, I'll just edit the name here, just rename it to total discounts given, and I say okay. So this is it for the total discount. So this is number 16, as you can see, total amount. So this is number 16 here. Then this is number 15, I guess. So that's number 15. And so let me confirm. So number 15 is if an order total is more than 2,000, right? So that's number 15 there. So we've answered number 15 as well. So let's go to the next column. So we just have So we have a few more to go. So they say how much total revenue came from sales in Lagos. So for this in Lagos, so if we're supposed to do this, we could easily, so at this point, I don't want to complicate us with bug us with so much formulas again, because like I said, we use pivot tables to just do everything that we need to do. So in this case, you need to know in terms of Lagos, how much the Lagos generates in total. So what I can do, let me make a copy of this. Since I have the list of all the states here, so just make a copy, select everything, Ctrl C, and I could come here and just paste it here. And so I have all the list of states already here, but I don't have the revenue. So what I need to do, I'll just drag revenue. That's the new amount, which is this one here. Or just drag the new amount. I could drag anyone is okay. So okay, so let's just, since we'll be using this total revenue, so we could use this revenue in terms of revenue. Or let's use, because in a real sense, we would use the amount, because this new amount is the actual revenue that we have. So maybe I can actually just rename this. Let me go back here and just rename it to actual revenue, just for simplicity's sake, actual revenue. And then I could also call this revenue. So this is the amount that the customer paid. So this is the actual revenue here. So I can just come here. So because I've done that, I've made some changes, it's not going to reflect here automatically. I just need to click on the refresh, go to my data, and I click on refresh, and I have okay, so we have an issue with the cells. Okay, so I think one of my pivot table cells is interfering. Okay, so this is a pivot table cell here, so I could just move it down a bit. Okay, oopsie. Okay, so to just avoid that, let me just change it back. So I think one of the issues is, one of the challenge was when creating pivot tables, just try as much as possible to give as much space in between them. I didn't give as much space. Like for example here, I need to give enough space, because sometimes when making changes, the pivot table, they just need space, and if they don't get that space, you might get all those errors. So let's leave it as the original. So we have the new amount, and then we have the discount given. So I could just let's see if I refresh this. Hope I don't get that same error again. Okay, so we're good. All right, so I've made a copy of the list of states here. So what I can do is I will just drag the discount, the new amounts to values. So these are the sales, these are the revenue that each branch made. But what they want us to, they want us to just see for Lagos. So to see for Lagos, I could just come to this filter here and just uncheck everything, select also uncheck everything, and then just select for Lagos, and I say okay. So if you check, this is the amount that Lagos means. So I could just right click on this number format and say currency. I don't want decimals, so I just reduce this to 0, and then the symbol, I just take it to Yoruba Naira and I say okay. So this is what we have. So I could just say list of states, and then we could just rename this to total revenue, and we'll say okay. So this is what we have. So Lagos gave us around 13,000 Naira in terms of revenue. So that is that for how much revenue, how much total revenue came from sales in Lagos. Okay, number 19 says create a new column that categorizes payments based on location. Okay, so for this, what we can do, okay, I think this question is an error, but we can also kind of display this. So if we want to know how many card payments we have in different locations, we can use pivot tables to show this. So what we can do here, I could just make a copy of this. So this question, let me first label this. What question is this? This is number 17. So we have 17 here. So I'll just make a copy of this pivot table, select it, Ctrl C, then I come here and I say Ctrl V. So what I need now, they say we need we need to know for each region how many payments, what are the number of different card and payment methods that each revenue has. So what I can do, I don't need in terms of revenue, I don't need this. What I need is payment method. So I'll just drag payment method. So in this case, I want to drag payment method to columns, and then I also want to drag order ID to values. Okay, I hope I'm getting it right. Okay. Okay, so and then also I would also So now this is just showing for Lagos. So if you check, what it's saying is we had 18 card payments in Lagos, and then we had 25 card payments in Lagos as well. So because it's just filtered down to Lagos, I have to unfilter it and let it show for all the states. So I can just click on this select all to select everything, and I say okay. So what we have now is, for example, so for Abuja, for example, we have 30 card payments and 14 cash payments. For Enugu, we have 15 card payments and then 2 card payments. For Ibadan, we have 25 cash payments and no card payments at all. So this is for, so we've answered, successfully answered question number 18. And that's how we get that for question number 18. So the next question they ask is calculate the total revenues for all the others placed in the okay. This question is quite similar. It's the same thing actually with number 17. So we don't need, so they say we should get the total revenue for all the others in Lagos, which we already answered here. And then number 20, or rather second to last, number 20 says find out how much revenue each state generated. So what we can do is, for this, we could just let's make a copy. We can make a copy of anyone. So let me use this one, for example. I'll just use a quantity per order. I can come here. So let me give some space. I just come here, and at this point, we need us to know in terms of all the regions, all the branches, how much each branch generates. So I could just uncheck this density. I don't even care about quantity. So I go to my region, which is where all the states are located. I just drag it to rows. Once I drag it to rows here, then in terms of revenue, I want to check new amounts. I'm dragging new amounts to what? Values. And so this is the revenue for each amount. So let me just quickly format this. So I'll just right click on this number and I go to number format and I say currency. And I just reduce the decimal to 0. I change the symbol to Naira, Naira, and I say okay. So this is what we have here. So now one thing I can do, I want to see from the largest to smallest. I can actually do that. I will just right click on, to do that, I'll just right click on any point here and I say sort from largest to smallest. So what that does is sort it. For example, Lagos is the highest in revenue, followed by Abuja, and then Kano, and then Port Harcourt, Enugu, and finally Ibadan. So this is number 20. So we've answered number 20. And then the next question says, what is the first name of the customer who placed order ID 5? So we want to know what is the name of the customer in order ID 5. So to do this, before now we could use the X lookup or the V lookup, or rather no, actually we could use the X lookup to do this. We could also use the V lookup to actually do this as well. But with pivot tables, you don't need to do any of that. We could just use the pivot table to create that. So let me make a copy. I could just make a copy of this small one here. Ctrl C. So let me use here. Let me move towards the edge. Let me just put it here. So once we get in terms of order ID, we want to know which person. So we could just come here. We just say order ID. We just this is order ID here, and then we just drag order ID to filters, and then we'll also. So this is where the name of the customer is. So we'll drag it to rows so that we can see all the customers. So if you notice, for our filters, we have all here. So, but they want us to see for order ID number 5. So once we click on this drop down under all, and you click on this, check this box that says select multiple items, and I click on this plus sign. So I just want to see for number 5. So I just uncheck this box that says all. I just check the box for number 5, and I say okay. So once I do that, I can see the name of the customer. So the name of this customer is what? Ngozi Wankwo. So that's how we get that. So one of the beautiful things about pivot tables, this is one of the advantages of using pivot tables in Excel. So if maybe in your data analytics work and you might not necessarily, with pivot tables, like I said, if you can use pivot tables, and there's some other things, even like for example creating columns and all that, there are other tools that can actually make your data analytics work easy. So you don't necessarily have to know those formulas and functions, all those many formulas. You don't have to memorize them to actually do the work in Excel or using those formulas and functions. So this is what we have, and I hope this video helps you. So thank you.